Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Time for another Mariners video. I know we're a game ahead of schedule. I know usually I only make Mariners videos every 10 games, but the team has an off day today, and the Seahawks play tonight, and I've already talked about all the stuff I need to talk about with regards to that. The pregame video went up yesterday afternoon, so I figured now would be a good time to just move things ahead a little bit and make my next Mariners video. So, yeah, 9 games since the last video, and we'll talk about those 9 games and where the team is. I don't think anybody's going to mind terribly. So, yeah, we are 119 games in, so a little more than 53 games left. This page has not yet updated for yesterday's results, by the way. So, the actual record is 65 and 54. We are 11 games over 500. We are leading the wild card race. We have, like, I think a 3 game lead over the first team on the bubble, outside the bubble of the wild card. So, got a little bit of a cushion going now, although there are still a lot of teams in the mix there. And over these last 9 games, we have a winning record. We took 2 from the Yankees. We swept the Angels. Disappointing results against Texas for sure, but overall it was a successful stretch of baseball. And if we can continue to play like that, I think we will manage to cruise into that top wildcard spot. So hopefully we can maintain that. But what characterizes this team right now, what is working so well for this team, I think, is with getting all these guys back, we now have the depth to consistently field batters who don't make you want to change the channel when they come up. A couple months ago, and even a month ago, when the trade deadline was approaching, some Mariners fans were really going crazy about trading for Soto, and I really didn't like that idea. I wasn't a fan of it. Partially, there were many reasons why, but the main reason why was because the problem for the Mariners, as far as I was concerned, was not a lack of superstars, not a lack of crushers. The problem was we had too many holes in the lineup of guys who just couldn't hit. And it seemed like in every game you would have a big at bat, 2 guys on, second and third, 1 out, 2 outs. You need a base hit, you need runs. It's late in the game, maybe you're down a run or two, tied game, whatever. And you've got Justin Upton at the dish. You've got Mike Ford at the dish. You've got Kevin Padlow at the dish. Just guys who you just can't imagine anything good happening. Now we don't have that problem, and I think that's the main reason why this team is a team that I feel like is going to continue to um, cruise towards the postseason and continue to play at this high level that should produce a 90 win plus season. I think we are on our way to more than 90 wins by a pretty decent margin, actually. So it's not about the superstars. It's just about having a collection of guys that are reliably solid at the plate. Guys who don't make you feel like there's no hope. Adam Frazier has turned his season around. That's been one of the big things because he's a guy who can hit late in the lineup. He's a guy who can hit leadoff, and he provides great value both ways. He gets on base at a very high clip over the last, I want to say, month and a half. But whatever it is, it's been an extended stretch of really good baseball for Adam Frazier. He's massively improved, and at this point, he's become part of the solution, no doubt about it. Julio Rodriguez and Ty France. Here's the thing: those guys have been slumping recently. Those guys have not done much since they came back from the injury stuff. Ty France in particular has been in a slump. Julio, I think, has since he came back from the injury has I think he's reached base 2 or 3 times, striking out a lot, not really playing well at all. He went 0 for 5 yesterday. Ty France took the day off, and we still scored 11 runs. And that, to me, is more valuable than any Juan Soto you can throw at me. We have a deep group of guys who can go out there and hit at an MLB level. No more Toro, no more Torrens, no more Kelnick, even Kyle Lewis, and I'm not giving up on Kyle Lewis, but even he, The fact that Kyle Lewis cannot figure out his stuff at the plate right now is now an afterthought. It's not a thing that is breaking our season the way I thought it would. And the reason why is because we are deep enough to field a lineup full of quality hitters. Winker's been playing great lately. Winker's really turned his season around. He's great at drawing a lot of walks. He's great at making these pitchers work. And he's now reached the point where he is well above average as a hitter. Cal, Suarez is continuing to do Suarez stuff where he has some maddening at-bats, don't get me wrong. And sometimes it just annoys you that he's chasing these pitches, but he's adding value to the team. He is part of the solution. You put it all together with guys like now Haniger's back, and Haniger's been playing really well since he got back. And even the guys in this lineup who aren't the best and have been struggling lately, you still feel like they could do it. That's the key. J.P. Crawford, for like the 2-month span between over June and July, I think, was the worst offensive shortstop in the league. His Ops Plus was like 65. We were talking about this in the Twitch stream a few days ago. He was the worst offensive shortstop in the league. And yeah, he was struggling. It was a problem. You really noticed it. He had no power. He was doing a decent job getting on base. He doesn't strike out a lot, which is obviously cool. But he just wasn't able to actually add positive offensive value. But even with that, with what we saw from him last year and earlier this season, when he comes up to the plate, I don't feel like all hope is lost. It's not like when you were watching a guy like I said, Justin Upton go up to the plate, or Kyle Lewis, or a Kelnick, or a Torrens. It's a completely different thing. And now the lineup is so deep that Crawford can be put at number 9, number 8, and it makes sense. And that's a pretty good place to be. Same for a guy like Carlos Santana, where he's not playing that well lately. His Ops Plus is going to be around 93, 94 after this game, I think. But there's still an expectation that good things can happen when he's at the plate. You know he's a good hitter, professional. He's done it before. He's done it for us. He's come through in the clutch many times, including once in this last 9-game stretch. It doesn't feel hopeless. So that's the difference. Instead of having to pinch hit a guy like Toro, who, yes, he came through in the clutch a few times, but wasn't having a good season at all, you have a guy like Santana, who is clearly swinging the bat better than guys like Toro and Torrens right now. And that makes this dangerous because you can feel that full lineup. Frazier, Julio, France, Haniger, Winker, Suarez, Cal, and then at that point you would probably go like Haggerty and Crawford, or Crawford and Haggerty. And then you still have Santana, who you can pinch hit, and you don't feel badly about that. You still have a guy like a Dylan Moore who can pinch run, and who, by the way, is still actually hitting at a slightly above average level. So that, to me, is the thing that has really turned this season around. It no longer feels like we've got guys who are just going to kill rallies because nothing positive happens when they get in the box. Taylor Trammell's going to come back soon too, apparently. He can be part of this too. He was playing well before he got hurt. So that just makes us deeper. And to me, that's the story of this season, why things are going so well right now. Left-handers, right-handers, we can field a full lineup of guys who can swing the bat at a competent level. It's not perfect. Yes, Crawford still kind of needs to shake himself out of this little slump. Yeah, Santana's fallen off since he was doing so good for that little stretch of like 2 or 3 weeks, not too long after we got him. But we can survive that. And those guys, even when they're not playing well, you feel like they're going to snap out of it because you've seen them be good recently. You know they're good players. You know they can do good things. There's a world of difference between that and just sending Mike Ford up there in a big spot and just hoping the pitcher beans him so he gets the free base on balls. And I'll say it again. France and Julio have spent a good stretch recently either not playing because of injury or not playing well, or at least not swinging the bat well, and it hasn't hurt, or at the very least the team has found ways to score and win regardless. And I have no fear about those guys. Julio and France, they're going to be fine. I don't have a problem with that. Everybody goes through slumps. They're going to snap out of it. They didn't forget how to hit. So, no concerns there. But when this lineup is in the state that it's in right now, it's a beautiful thing. You never feel hopeless. You never feel out of it. You never feel like the inning is already over before it's actually over. Other than that, there isn't a whole heck of a lot else to say that hasn't already been said many times. Starting rotation, there's some interesting stuff going on with Kirby because he basically yesterday hit his innings limit, where theoretically he's supposed to be shelved for the rest of the year because he's now thrown, I think, 30% more innings than he ever has in his career, which is a number you don't want to cross, but it sounds like we're going to risk it, which I have very mixed feelings on, right? Like, on the one hand, I love the fact that the team is being bold and going all out to try to make this season special, but Kirby is clearly going to be a superstar in this league. He's already doing this at 24 years old. And if we were to mess that up by overworking him this year, a year where, I mean, I'm sorry, we're still not the best team in the conference either way, it would be a real tragedy. But maybe we're feeling some pressure because Logan hasn't pitched that great lately. He's slipping, which makes sense because this is also the biggest workload he's ever had. So I understand the back and forth there, but that's the one thing going on with this starting lineup that's a little bit stressful right now. Marco is slipping a little bit as well. He's had some clunkers lately, but that's going to become less of a concern once we get to the playoffs because he's not going to be pitching. Flexen still doing his thing, still pitching at an approximately league average level, which is fine. Robbie Ray, the good teams can get to him, it seems like, but he did have a pretty good start against the Yankees, and he's overall pitching quite well. So the rotation with Castillo, excuse me, whoa, frog in my throat, my bad. So the rotation still rock solid. Obviously, we need to monitor what Logan Gilbert does for the last 50 plus games. If things continue to get worse, then maybe that's a situation where you look at Kirby and you go, we need you. We'll take the risk because you're the best. You're a better pitcher than Logan at this point in time. But we'll address that when we come to it. Logan's still having a really good season overall. And the bullpen, it does seem like they're starting to wear out a little bit. They're giving up some stuff they weren't giving up earlier. Murphy is starting to give up stuff here and there. It seems like this team is a little too keen on relying on guys like Festa and Brash. I'm seeing them get put into games in high leverage situations, and I don't really understand why you wouldn't put in your best guys, but I think what's happening is that our best guys, Sewald, Munoz, Castillo, Swanson, I think they're starting to wear out, and you are starting to see some cracks in that pen, even though it hasn't actually cost us games yet, really. Maybe one or two, but overall it's still not killing us or anything. So I would like to see some games that we win in a blowout, kind of like yesterday. Some games where the starters go 8 innings, which Castillo is totally capable of doing. So hopefully we see that from him next time he's on the bump. Because I think those guys just need to see their workloads reduced a little bit. I don't want to see them run out of gas here at the end of the season. But it continues to be an elite bullpen. One of the best bullpens around. And even if somebody like Murphy falls off the same way Steckenrider did, we still have enough going on in the pen to keep things together, especially with our starting rotation. I wish we had a better left-hander. I wish we were a little bit deeper with left-handers, but that's something we're going to have to deal with in the offseason, unfortunately. And for the time being, I believe we can survive with it. And they're playing great. So there isn't a whole lot to criticize there, just some stuff to be concerned about. that's really about it. I'm happy with the way the team's playing. They're making me proud, and we got to keep it up. We still got a lot of games against decent teams coming up. Teams like the teams like Cleveland, teams like Chicago, teams that are not great, but they're fighting for the playoffs, same as we are. And we gotta keep it up, plain and simple. But I'm happy. I think most people should be happy. Let's just keep it going. See you guys later. Go Mariners. Seahawks game later tonight. I will be doing a post-game video after and a post-game stream as well. See you later.